A franchise may seem ideal to some people who want to dip their feet into a business which already has a foundation they can build on. But what are the risks and rewards that come with a franchise? We get answers now from an acknowledged franchise guru, Armando Butz Bartolome. Butz, thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. You know, we have a lot of kababayans who want to be entrepreneurs. They want to earn that extra cash for the rainy days and have an established business before they retire. How do you help interested franchisees, Butz, choose the right franchise?
Well, first of all, thank you, Rico, for guesting me again here, and really in CNN Philippines. You know, the question is always very, very common for those who want to retire. One of the things I advise is hold on to your last money. That's your last money. That's a retirement money. And make up your mindset. What is it? Do you really want to invest? Are you going to be committed? And will you have the time? A lot of people would say, you know, I want just to invest. I want to grow the money. But, you know, in a franchise, you have to be committed because the owner of the business is very, very committed too. You know, they want to grow the business together. So, very important for me, when people ask me what to do with their money, look around, shop, find out your mindset. What is your, you know, discuss this with your family, not just you and your spouse. Discuss this with your family because a dialogue is really important for me. Because later on, this business, the franchise business, will grow and grow, and eventually it will become part of the legacy of the family. So treat this as your own business. So that's one of my advice.
But if they are really set and bent on starting a franchise business but have no experience in running one, do the franchisors teach the potential franchisees how to run it and manage it?
You know what? Yes, that's true. A real good franchise, and I'm always saying a real good franchise, a responsible franchise company, will train and train the franchisee. You don't have to have all the degrees and all the experience because they will try to help you fit into their system. And there will always be continuous training. It's like an never-ending course in studying school. Because what the franchisor wants is to duplicate their success in your particular area. So the first thing is make up your mind. Know the franchisor. And that's one thing, Rico, that I always tell. Don't believe in the business. Believe in the character of the owner of the business. Is he involved? Is the person involved? Is the person experienced? Do they have a good backups organization? Not just the franchisor, but really the good people who will really train their staff, who will always be there to back up, especially now that we have social media, they have to be adapt to the situation. And that's very important.
Yes.
So go and shop, but meet the right franchisor.
All right, go out and shop. And I see so many franchises around, Butz, that are food focused. Is it still the hottest franchise to get into? Food.
But you know, with this pandemic, we have a lot of businesses right now, not just the traditional or the pre-pandemic. You have the food trucks, the food trucks that are now coming up into play in different towns and cities. You have now community stores, neighborhood cafes. So these are a lot of things have sprung up with this pandemic, you know, and a lot of a lot of franchise businesses. Aside from food, there's also cleaning. There's online tutorial. There's online shopping. So a lot to choose, but I always say, you know, investigate first before investing, and that's my byword, my mantra, IFBI.
So if it's food, if it's water, or any kind of business that is not online, or that could be both physical and online, how important is location for a franchise? And will a franchisor tell you if it's advisable or not to set up a business there or not?
One of the things I adapted, and this is something the applicant or the franchise applicant must study the location that he or she wants to target. Because the person must be from there. Number two, the person must be a community player. And again, also must be committed there. So the franchisor and the franchisee will both study and have a market study, and they do compare. Unlike in other areas, the franchisor is always asked, can you give me a site? No, it should be now, study the place, convince the franchisor, and the franchisor will also study the place, whether it will be viable. Because don't rely on the advice of the franchisor that that place is viable. In franchising, there's no guarantee. Nobody guarantees the success of the business, but the business relies on the ability of the franchisee to manage. Manage well and be consistent with the franchise system.
And Butz, as a final question, what about just creating your own brand versus owning a franchise? Would that be much better?
You know, a lot of people have really created their own brands. But, you know, you have to be guided well. You have to do your support system, your success. At the same time, your target market acceptance. No, a lot of people right now are launching their franchise, not just in the Philippines, mind you, Rico, but also global. We have Filipino companies now expanding globally. So I'm so proud that, you know, the Filipino entrepreneurs are waking up and say, look, our business cannot be like this anymore. It has to grow. It has to expand. So I'm really happy. It's really bouncing now. You know, the economy is so alive.
Thank you so much, Butz, for sharing with us your franchising tips. Franchise guru
Thank you.
Armando Butz Bartolome.